Hey guys, this is Grubby here at Blizzcon 2016. I just got out of the opening ceremony, and if you haven't seen it, well, if you have, you'll be as psyched as I am, as excited as I am. But if you haven't, lots of new cool stuff coming to Blizzard games. Heroes of the Storm, a new Brawl and two new heroes, Ragnaros the Firelord and Varian Wrynn, which I'll tell you more about in a second. Hearthstone is going to get a new expansion, the mean streets of Gadgetzan. Let's see, World of Warcraft is going to get new downloadable content that they're going to release. Diablo 3 actually has me really freaking excited. I had goosebumps as I heard it. Inside Diablo 3 you can play Diablo 1. Now I played the living daylight out of Diablo 1. You can go into the original cathedral, the 16 levels, and meet big old red again, Diablo and the Butcher. And they've reskinned it and it looks like Diablo 3, I think. But then they said they put a filter on it to make it pixelated and look just like Diablo 1. Same old theme music, so you can play that inside Diablo 3 coming soon. Super awesome. Overwatch, they announced Sombra. The smart investigators already realized that Sombra is coming out, but yeah, new hero coming to Overwatch. And also very excited about all the esports stuff that they showed, and the cross promotion with Heroes of the Storm and Overwatch. So as a recruitment, Overwatch players are encouraged to come and play 15 or 30 games inside Heroes of the Storm, and they're gonna get like really cool unique skins in Overwatch. So be gentle to our new players in the Nexus, explain them if they ask for it, and remember that we all once started as a new player in any game we played, including in Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm. So be gentle to your fellow travelers, adventurers and players. Have fun with all the new news. And now after all these cool announcements, which I'm sure you probably saw yourself, I quickly rushed to the Heroes of the Storm booth to try out the two new heroes which are announced. First game as Varian Wrynn, Ragnaros the Firelord and Varian Wrynn. Now I haven't played the Brawl yet, but first I just want to give you really quickly my first impressions, my review of Varian Wrynn and Ragnaros the Firelord. So first I'm going to tell you how I felt playing them, and then I'm going to tell you as much as I remember about their talents, statistics, HP, effectiveness and so on. Keep in mind it's a trade show event, so the teams are going to be a little bit unbalanced sometimes. However, I did my best to do the good old traditional grub feed, to do my part of charity, so that I can bring more information to you guys. I never died unless I wanted to, just like always on stream, right? So, first I played Ragnaros, and so they said that they want Ragnaros to feel like a raid boss. It kind of feels like that. So you kind of walk around like flying like Alarak when he's on his mount. He doesn't have the legs, and every 100 seconds you can become a fort or a keep, even if it has already died. You will be there and your HP will slowly depreciate. During that time you are monstrously strong. You get really long range on some of your abilities and a short range, and when I say short I mean like Rainer's range, of one big club swing, just like Cho does in the Cho'Gall combination with his level 10 Hammer of Twilight alt. It's like a stun damage swath. You feel awesome, you feel strong. He's got good health pool, 2 range. He was really cool. Of course, I topped the damage numbers, but that's usually gonna happen at at the trade shows. I actually don't know what class he is, but you guys probably already know. Ragnaros was super cool. His talents were interesting. He had a quest where you had 3 components. Gather regeneration globes. This is a level 1 talent. And by the way, I said I'm gonna split it up how I feel and what the talents are like, but I'm completely messing it up. There was a quest with 3 ones. You can pick up regeneration globes and it'll give you bonus damage. You can take down heroes, it'll give you bonus damage, and you can hit people with the ability, the Q, and that one also gives you bonus damage. And when you complete all 3 quests, you get a big triple quest reward extra auto attack damage. Ragnaros had 4,605 life at level 20, range 2, so he's pretty tanky, and it makes me think he's like a warrior, but he's also a specialist because he can become forts, so not sure. So his abilities, his Q is an immediate auto attack reset that will do splash damage in a pretty big radius. For example, if you stand in front of the footman of a minion wave and you hit it on the wizard, you will hit the entire wave. It's a pretty decent chunk of splash damage, and you heal yourself for 20% of the damage that is dealt, doubled versus heroes. If you're in trouble and you're low life and you hit it on the heroes that are pursuing you, it will just buy you a little bit of time to stay alive. And of course it's a great sustain tool in longer fights, but it's not gonna save your life like Uther Holy Light. But it's a nice sustain tool, and it works on minions and double on heroes. His W is a meteor. It feels like Cho'Gall's, and I should say Gall's, Dread Orb. You start from a point of impact at a fairly large range, maybe range 8 or 9, and it impacts there for damage, and then just like the vector targeting in telekinesis of Alarak, you can choose a direction that it rolls towards. At level 13 or 16 you get a talent where you can reroute it once and roll back on itself, or sideways suddenly, so you can deal bonus damage. Now, the way that the damage component works is impact damage and then damage per second or per half second whenever that ball of meteor on fire rolls through someone. So much like Gul'dan's corruption, if someone is running away and you hit that, you're going to get massive damage, up to 1,000 or more at some of the more advanced levels. His E is an ability that can speed up his movement speed or someone else's for 1.5 seconds. I think it's 25% movement speed. And there was some, oh yeah, and when it ends after 1.5 seconds, it's a splash damage around that target that deals damage to all nearby enemies. Then he has 2 different heroics. One is it's the lava wave that you saw in the cinematic, which is pretty bonkers. You can choose one of the 3 lanes. It starts from your core and it ends right before it hits the enemy core. It doesn't deal damage to any structures, but it does instantly kill all minions, and it does like 800, 900 damage to everything else in between. Obviously that doesn't say much, I didn't say at which level, but I'm trying to just piece it together. It also deals bonus damage to heroes, but again it will not damage structures. It's pretty damn crazy. You cast that when there's a 6 catapult push at your core, kills it instantly, and everything else that was on the way to your core, that is crazy. And also the cooldown of that one is 100 seconds. Then he has a second heroic, which is called something of, not Sargeras, whatever his hammer's called, Sulfurous. Something Sulfurous Strike. And it has a pretty big range, and it's a point of impact, 0.75 second delay spell that will do, at level 20, 400 damage at this circle. It's a pretty big circle, bigger than Asmodan's cube. In the center, people take triple damage, so 1200 damage, and also will get stunned for half a second. So you need to follow up well on someone else. 0.75 second delay, and that has a 60 second cooldown. Then his trait is called Molten Core. He can become one of the 3 forts or one of the 3 keeps, even if it has already died. That fort or keep, if there is one, will cease being able to take any damage whatsoever. Ragnaros has a health pool on that fort, I don't know how much, and it will slowly depreciate. When it's nothing, he gets booted out right next to it. It has a channeling time of something like a second when you're standing next to it. And the range of becoming a fort or keep is something like Zarya auto attack range, 4.5 maybe. So it's a really short range, you can't cast it globally. And if people damage you and destroy your health bar, of course you'll get booted out of the fort faster. Now all of your basic abilities, including your heroics, gain a different... No, your heroics remain the same, but all of your basic abilities change. Much like Abathur's Symbiote, you now have a different Q, W and E. They pretty much function in a similar way. W is still a meteor, but it has a much bigger range. I don't think it was global, but it was really big. Like, I was on the mid fort on Cursed Hollow and I could assault the tribute locations with it, which is pretty cool. So still that meteor with the vector point targeting. The Q was this Hammer of Twilight Cho'Gall-like ability, but as I said, really big. If you're the fort on Cursed Hollow, you can sweep it all the way up to the turrets. That's really big, and it's 180 degrees. No 360, but 180 degrees. Really strong, and they get stunned and damaged. And then his E is just like a point of impact meteor swarm kind of thing, so it no longer has that element of movement speed. Yes, those are his abilities. Then he has some talents like damage buffs, meteor, rolling meteor ball, change direction. What else does he have? More healing when he Qs someone. He has some kind of slows. And then at level 20, he can have a second wave of that lava that pushes a lane, and then it removes 10 seconds of the cooldown. The hammer that you can throw, the sulfurous hammer, gains bonus stun or slow or damage or something. And then he also has something else where if he becomes the molten core, he has more health, and also he can do it twice as often, like 50-second cooldown instead of 100. That's Ragnaros. Now, Varian Wrynn, he is a melee warrior. He had a health pool of 5,555 or something at level 20, but that's when he takes the heroic that buffs his life by 50% at level 10. So how much is that? You can calculate that yourself. You have calculators. He is a warrior, and he has some different directions he can go towards. He can spec into damage, attack speed and blocking, and tankiness and taunt. So taunt is where you force someone to attack you. And this is his 3 paths in life that he can take with his level 10 heroic choice. And it also gives like passive buffs, like he can go up in attack speed, he can like get more damage, more health, less health even. So a number of different things. So his QWE, let's see, his W is a parry. It's it's half a second long with a charge cooldown of 15 seconds, 2 charges. For half a second long, block all auto attack damage that you take in that time, which also includes forts, towers and keeps. And his Q is a pretty long range pretty long range trajectory spell, longer range than cooldown's Q, and it has a fairly thin radius, width, and it is a decent damage, something like 200 or 150 damage at level 1, and it also slows people for like 30-40%. And then he has an E, it's a charge. I would say it's probably about range 7 or 8. You can charge someone, and when you hit them, you deal mediocre damage, like a third of your auto attack, like 50 or 56, at somewhere in the middle level. Really low damage, but you also slow them for 30-40% or so. That one is upgradable to become a stun. It's upgradable to get 6% giant killer, HP removal at level 16, I believe. The Q is upgradable to do more damage. It can be like a quest. And the W is also upgradable. But first I want to tell you about his trait. His trait is, I don't know what it's called, but every 18 seconds he'll do an empowered auto attack. And every time you auto attack someone, you reduce that cooldown. So it's kind of like Artanis with his shield, where you keep auto attacking to get a bonus, but instead of the shield, he gets the bonus auto attack damage. At level 7 he had some sustain talents. He could choose to do like 1% lifesteal on every auto attack, or he could do like 600 lifesteal at level 7, or like 800 or 900 later on at level 16 or so, every 90 seconds or every 60 seconds. So it's a really big chunk of life, and it's on your next basic. So it was not controllable, so it's kind of awkward. You walk into battle, you've got your big lifesteal ready, but you're still full life. So you don't want to auto attack because you put it on a really long cooldown. So it's a bit weird, but it's quite a big chunky burst of lifesteal. And as a warrior, sometimes you will take damage before you get your first auto off. So it's pretty big burst heal. There's one cool thing about it. Every lane minion that dies, 15-second cooldown reduction. So you could have 2-3 of that in the midst of fighting a minion wave. Like that would be really strong. Like 3 times in a row, almost. If you've got like a good lane clearer in your party, you could have like 600, 600, 600. So pretty awesome. And then, as I said, at level 10, he has got this heroic where, and I didn't choose it. I looked at someone else where you can force an enemy to attack you during that time. You get the bonus health, but you do get reduced auto attack damage. Varian Wrynn felt really cool. You can play him in many different ways. Ragnaros felt cool. I feel like the lava ult is super OP. I think that's gonna change. But as you may know, Varian Wrynn is going to come first. In just a week after BlizzCon, he will go into PTR, which is the public test realm, and you can play him there. And then in the week of 15 November, he'll be playable already on the main server. That's Varian Wrynn. And Ragnaros should hit soon after, somewhere early December. This is the info that I have right now for BlizzCon Day 1. Looking forward to bringing more videos, also to see what the brawl is like, and of course more info about the tournament as well, which I'm going to be casting later today. Hope you enjoyed this first sneak peek at the 2 new heroes that come into Heroes of the Storm. Please hit follow, subscribe on my YouTube channel, and stay tuned for more BlizzCon 2016 videos. Thanks guys, have a good day.